it's supposed to feel.
Welcome to the North Shore 9 Postgame Show. Pirates lose 8-2 to the Houston Astros. Neil and I'm here with Doug, and we're going to talk about that thrilling, enthralling game that we all just watched. How are you doing tonight?
Kept you on the edge of your seat. I'm fine. I don't want to make too much of it. It's just a bad game against a good team, a good pitcher. I know we were excited coming in, and we were 6-3. And yes, we were a little down, obviously, about the Cruz news, but I still think that we thought, all right, we're going to take it to Houston. And, they did win the World Series last year. They're a good team. That was a great pitcher going, and we still have holes in the lineup. And if we're not going to get great starting pitching, we're not going to go anywhere. Roansy, did not have any control tonight. He had nothing, and we were done. It was over really quickly.
Yeah. And I think just to get it out of the way, I just think because of the Cruz news, seeing it come out today that he's out for 4 months, it's not 2 months. We're not going to see him until probably August, September, if we're lucky. And then just going out there and dropping kind of like a turd of a game. It doesn't feel great. But yeah, it's something you got to put behind you. We've been all about, all vibes, the team having good vibes. Well, now it's the time to see how good those vibes really are, right? We have to be able to.
Earl Weaver used to say momentum is the next day starting pitcher. So Keller throws a gem tomorrow. We're right back. We're feeling good. We're 6-4. I'm not sure that a lot of people had us 6-4 after 10 games. Again, it's one game in a long season. It's way too early to make any judgments. We're Pirates fans, and the pendulum swings for us are wild. A good game, and we're contending for the wild card, and a bad game, we're back to 62. We're going to win 62 games, and Bob Nutting's cheap. So I just can't get worked up about it. I know, again, the external circumstances with Cruz makes it worse, but the reality is it's one game. We play again tomorrow, and we've got a really good pitcher that I have a lot of confidence in going. So.
Yeah, and you are right. Is against the defending champs. We were probably playing above our station for a little bit, but I guess we should hop into it. So I think the biggest thing, of course, is, and I think I tweeted this out, is that this was a game of pitching. And this was a game of one pitcher who was confident in his stuff, who knew exactly what he wanted to do, and got the exact result he wanted. That was Framber Valdez, and he went out and
he executed exactly.
Lovely game. And on the other hand, you had Roansy, who looked scared, who looked visibly uncomfortable the entire time, and would not attack the zone. And it was infuriating to watch.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it wasn't that he would attack the zone. He had no command over any of his off-speed stuff at all. It just didn't seem like he knew where it was going. And again, if he, his stuff's not that great that he can get away with that. He walked the catcher on four straight pitches, a 200 hitting take. Yeah. You're right. I think he did seem a little uncomfortable, and maybe he didn't want to, try to, but a lot of it was just lack of control. He just had an off night. Hopefully that's all it is an off night. And
hopefully,
but again, we're Pirates fans, so we still have Rich Hill and Velasquez, ringing through our brains, and it's hard for us to get 2 starts in a row out of anybody.
And it's really hard when the Astros already have such a potent lineup and you cannot get out the bottom three of that order.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
like let me
I mean, they're
see.
without Altuve,
Yeah,
right. It was, yeah, it
like I
was an
think
awful night.
Jolks, Dubon, and Maldonado, which are like not great hitters by any stretch of the
None.
imagination,
Right.
all had like were on base 2 or 3 times.
Right. And they can afford to put some not great hitters in the lineup because they've got a bunch of great hitters in front of them. We do not. We're not looking real good in the leadoff spot right now. We're not looking very good at all at the bottom part of the lineup, even though that's where Castro, looked better tonight a little bit. Connor
Yeah,
Joe is getting on base at least, but again, when you get Castro on, you get Connor Joe on, you've got delay, and then Hayes, and then and I mean I understand delay has come out hot, but I don't think anyone's expecting that to continue.
no. And
So
I th- I think
easy outs.
I think when you have a team that has the potential to be like decent, like I'm not going to say this is a playoff team by any stretch of the imagination. It is rough, extremely rough to see Jason DeLay and Vince Velasquez on the team over Luis Ortiz and Andy Rodriguez. And I don't
Right.
mean to belabor the point. We've already talked for ad nauseum length about how they should be in the major leagues.
Right.
It's just Jason DeLay, great story. If it was up to me, if it was a movie, he would come out and win like MVP or something. Like, but he's not good.
Sure. But he's not. He's not a good hitter. He's a little above average defensively. But
Yeah.
I listen personally. I've moved on from Endy as a catcher, right? Because the whole world seems to agree that he's not ready as a catcher, but they also agree that he's ready as a hitter. How about put him at second base? Let's get him up here now. Put him at second base because we're not getting a lot of production out of second base. And I know that sounds extreme and out there, but we have Henry Davis, and I don't know if he's ready. But to me, that would light a fire in the whole organization. You get Endy up, he can sort of replicate what Cruz can do. It's a dynamic bat. It's different, but it's a dynamic bat. Plays second base, and Henry Davis knows he's on the fast track. So he's pissed off that he's in Altoona, and I love that speech, that little statement. Good.
Mhm.
Now here's your opportunity, but it's right in front of you. So
I guess I disagree because in the fact I think Endy could come up and play catcher right away. Every single report I've heard from like people who've rated him, scouted him, he apparently can play the catcher position and play
well,
it
you're
better
a proponent of the bat will play. You're the bat will play guy. The 2 times that I've been on with you, the bat well, why not? Why isn't his bat? Because his bat will play. I think we can all agree with that. And I mean, again, we're getting off. This is a post game show.
I guess beggars can't be choosers. If they want to bring Endy up and play second base, fine. I get this Andy Rodriguez, but yeah. So I think Bucko Mike here brought up a good point with Rowan Z's that he really has lost his velocity. When he came up
right mid-season last year, right?
Last year he was pumping in 96, 97. That's where he sat. And if he really needed to get out of a jam, he would throw 98, 99, right? And today he was hitting 93. And that
we haven't seen that since August of last year, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that fastball,
and they started figuring out a slider. So, right, yeah, he's got work to do.
And you're
pitching's
right,
not easy in the major leagues.
It is one night. The only thing I would say, and we can wrap it up with this, is that it was very reminiscent of his issues last year. And he kind of had the same issues with Boston, where there was just too much hard contact. And when you're going up against Jordan Alvarez, you can't give him the ability to hit hard because we saw what happened. Jordan Alvarez was terrible.
Well, especially when you're going to walk Bregman every time in front of him. Right. You're putting Bregman on and then, letting Jordan Alvarez barrel up the ball. That is not a good recipe for success.
Nope.
Yeah, he looked awful. What his next start's probably St. Louis. So hopefully it's a bounce back. But
you have to hope so.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
Because the alternative is a little too depressing to think about.
Yeah, the rest of the pitching.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, finish up pitching. I think the bullpen did about as well as you could have hoped for.
Yeah, right. I mean, Crow gave a couple innings. He probably could have given a little more had he knew how many outs there were in the game. But instead, he gets a comebacker and with one out and passes up the easiest double play he'll probably ever have and tosses to first base and had to face two more batters after that, I think. Here we are desperate for him to go a long time, and he's going to waste another dozen pitches that he didn't need, but because he just wasn't paying attention. 2022 Pittsburgh Pirates, ladies and gentlemen.
He just wanted
coming back to haunt this year's team. Yeah.
No, Crow was good besides that little mental error. I mean, Hernandez is weird because, he came straight from Double-A into the majors. There's going to be growing pains, but honestly, I think he was fine tonight. It's just a good Astros lineup as a rookie.
Right. And here's the thing. It looks like they're not going to hide him. He's going to pitch. So I don't mind carrying a Rule 5 left-handed pitcher that throws 98 miles an hour if he's going to pitch more than once. I mean, he's pitching every couple games. It might be in garbage time. That's fine. But the last time we tried to rush, what was it, Oviedo, we went weeks without seeing him. We'd be in a 13-2 game, and for some reason he couldn't come in. So as long as they're going to use him and he'll eat up some innings and take some of the pressure, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the year he's moved up to I'm not going to say 7th and 8th inning, but 6th inning and come in with some tougher situations. I mean, let this be a good learning year for him.
He can't hide because we don't have any lefties on the 40-man either. So he has to come in and perform because Garcia's dead.
Right.
And he was the only other lefty bullpen arm. And, I would say that for a guy with his stuff, he needs to be striking out more people. 2 innings, only 1 strikeout, gave up 4 hits. But I think he managed his job all right. I think he did an okay job. He's a rookie. So against
right. And we didn't have to bring in some of, more of our high leverage guys. We didn't. I mean, again, when you're getting 2 innings from starters, 3 innings from starters, if you can get that out of Hernandez, you have to take it and be glad that's what you got. Because again, he didn't let the game get away. He didn't. I mean, it was already going, but it wasn't 18-2, right? I'm taking solace in the fact that it was only 8-2.
This is the improvement the 2023 Pirates strive for.
Right. The run differentials, not 200 already.
We're not the Rays. We need a nice series against the Athletics to make ourselves feel better. Okay. Offense was not great tonight. First of all,
there wasn't any offense.
To be fair, like I said, Framber Valdez is just one of the best left-handed pitchers. Sorry, one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Yeah, he again, we throw around the term ace. He's an actual ace. He's not just the ace of his team. He's a really good pitcher.
Aces the Astros.
I think he won 18 games last year. ERA 2. Yeah. I mean, right. This was not going to be an easy game. This was not going to be an easy series. And I know, again, we're enthusiastic and a couple good things happen and we're planning the parade route. But no, this wasn't going to be easy. And sure enough, a good team and a good pitcher got us. Brian Reynolds, his first game without a hit, I think. And
Yep.
Carlos Santana had a double. It's nice to see that he's still hitting, that he's continuing, because he did start out a little slow.
Yeah.
Choi hits a home run, and really not much else to speak of. Again, I think I saw some positives from Castro at the plate. He looked a little better. We can't expect him to all of a sudden being 3 for 4.
Yeah. I mean, Reynolds was extremely unlucky not to have a hit. That line that he should have had a bases clearing double there.
Well, now he
hits it right at Jose Abreu. Reynolds is still looking good. I will say is that Connor Joe and I don't expect Connor Joe to hit 500, but he's been such a pleasant person to play.
Yeah,
he has been a fun player.
He's fielded the position. He's fielded the position decent. He takes walks. He gets. I mean, he's the perfect guy for the platoon situation right now. And if they trade either Santana or Choi at or before the deadline, he can slip in and play some first base. I have no issue. You're right. He's not going to hit 500, but it would be nice to have somebody hit 280. Just a 280 in limited action. It would just be so nice. I mean, for the last 3 years, we've had lineups of 200 hitters. I mean, 5 of them in a row. So to see a guy that can actually, now if we had some guys on either side of him that could also, hit over 250 or 260, that would be helpful. But our lineup does not have that depth yet.
Is a lot of fun. Him and Bay I think work well. I mean, to be fair, Connor Joe, in 2021, he was hurt most of 2022, but in 2021, he was a 115 WRC plus hitter. There is a good hitter there, and I think you're right with the platoon. We're putting him in situations where he succeeds, and so I think Joe's been a very surprising bright spot.
After the what was a 4-hit game Friday night, people were screaming that he wasn't in the lineup the next day. And I'm like, right. If you want to watch him go 0 for 4, right? Yeah. Let's keep putting him out there. I mean, I like the way that Shelton is putting the lineup together. I thought Sawinski would play every day. I thought Castro would play every day, and they're not. He's trying to put them in positions to succeed so they can get in a groove and then maybe try to, put them out of their comfort zone a little. They haven't really, it's a little unsettling.
Castro's going to play every day now.
I would like to, and now he just about has to. Well, let's find out. I'm not one of everybody. Our fan base seems to be, with him and Sawinski both, seduced by the power. I'm not from that generation where it's all, home runs and 3 true outcomes. I came from the 70s where you smacked the ball down on the AstroTurf and ran really fast, and then they bunted you to second. You tried to, that sort of thing. So I like guys that hit. I like, guys that hit for average. Obviously, you want guys getting on base. I'll take a 12 home run guy hitting 300 over 20 home runs and a guy hitting 200. Again, I know there's the other factors, but our 200 hitters don't get on base. Again, the occasional home run, but an occasional solo home run, I would expect more. So if they don't start producing soon, especially now without Cruz in the lineup, we can't give people long leashes. This team has some potential. Let's not waste it away by playing guys that are 1 for 17 until they're 1 for 42.
So 2 things. First of all, the Kevin Newman trade must have been the worst day of your life. And secondly, but more seriousness, I think that Jack Suwinski...
It's turning out to be a good day now.
Yeah. Jack Suwinski, I think, might be completely toast. Because the guy sees the ball well, and then he can't make contact. Someone posted his Savant page on Twitter today, and he has a 90 percentile whiff chase rate, which means he does not chase pitches out of the zone. He is in the 3rd percentile for whiffs. which means
Right.
he is just whiffing at pitches in the zone.
Right. He
Castro
can't hit a fastball. That's a problem in today's
Castro, at the
baseball. I
very
mean,
least, doesn't do it. He chases, but he can make in zone contact. And so, if I had to choose one or the other, like to keep on the team long term, not only because of who we have in AAA, and we have nobody at the middle infield ready yet. I would choose having Castro, and then I'd call up Swaggerty and send Sawinski down the AAA until he learns how to make contact with fastballs. Yeah, watch Jack Sawinski is an infuriating player, and it's
it frustrates me because I mean, I think last year he could hit one particular pitch in one particular, sort of zone and one swing path. I think pitchers, teams have figured it out that the other teams have scouts and coaches. They figure stuff out. They're not going to throw him that pitch anymore. Yeah. Yesterday or today, listening to podcasts, I heard people, well, he had the 2 hardest hit balls yesterday. And right, he knocked in the run with the sacrifice fly, but they were just long outs. I don't know how exciting of progress that is. The kid's got a hit this year. Yeah. And I understand he's not playing every day, but we're not putting him out there against lefties either. I mean, he's in situations that he really has to produce.
He's useless against lefties. Completely.
Right. We know I'm on the Swaggerty bandwagon, but play CSN instead of Sawinski. I'm not demanding that you bring up Swaggerty. That's a decision they can make whenever they're good and ready. But you can't keep running Sawinski out there if this is the production you're going to get.
The only reason that Sawinski, I think, gets those starts is because he can play center and CSN can't. Now, I will just play this because we have another middle infielder sitting in AAA who has the exact same issue, who hits the ball real pretty, has great power, but he doesn't make in his own contact, and got the Fangraphs guy, Eric Longenhagen, destroyed because he said Nick Gonzalez can't make contact. And so people who say, like, hey, we need Nick Gonzalez now, this is probably what you're looking at if Nick Gonzalez comes up.
Yeah, I would like to see him be a little consistent at AAA before we. Yeah, it's disappointing that Triolo's hurt. Tucupita Marcano's playing well, but I think we've fallen for that before.
I have no desire to see Marcano back in the majors.
Yeah. If they don't bring him up, I won't mind. What I am concerned about, well, actually, it might even be a better thing, but that we're going to be seeing Chris Owings. And we know Chris Owings can't hit, but at least he can field the position. So no one else we're playing out there can hit either. So
I would be so upset.
At least get a guy that can play the position.
So upset if I had to watch Chris Owens play baseball. So
prepare yourself, my friend.
Well, Marcano does have an OPS over 1,400. I tell you to look at Bly Madris's AAA numbers. Okay, this is the problem, is that some people are great.
Hoy Park won what was leading minor leagues in batting average the year we acquired him in trade.
Hoy Park.
AAA is fool's gold.
Yeah, Hoy Park. Yeah, it's not all about the Fangraphs page. It sucks. I wish it was. I wish I could look at Marcano and say, oh yeah, he's going to be our answer to the Cruz issue. But
I honestly thought that's who they'd bring up. I mean, I knew Matthias was hitting the ball well, but Marcano has been playing all over the infield, playing shortstop, and he's been. He's been spraying the ball all over the yard. Again, I'm not a believer. I'm not buying into it, but Charrington loves him, and here's this would seem to be a perfect opportunity. But I know he's intrigued by Matthias as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, at the very least, Matthias had that really nice play at second base today.
Yeah.
But
he hit the ball really hard too. Knocked off Valdez's glove, But again, this is part of the problem. This is what we celebrate: exit velocity, not actual hits. It's like he hit the ball hard. I understand. You hit the ball hard, you're more likely to get a hit. But when we're only celebrating the exit velocity, as we do with Hayes, as we do, with some of these other guys, But Mike, you can do better. Well, maybe you can, Mike. I'm willing to give you a shot. Matthias, I mean, if Matthias had been in our
majorly MLB minimum contract.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, had Matthias been in our AAA last year and had the year that he did with the Texas Miners, and then came up for 65 at bats and have a 900 OPS, we'd be screaming if he'd been sent to AAA and screaming if he didn't get a chance. So I know he was a DF guy and we took him off the trash heap, all that sort of thing. But it's a matter of perspective. I don't mind that he gets a look. This is the time, right? This is the time. But, and I've been saying this for 3 years and the Pirates have not agreed at all, but short leash. And I understand that, some guys need 2-3 months. Sorry. If at the end of 30 games, you're hitting 200 and your OPS is 600 and you've made 7 errors, we gave you a good chance. Go back to AAA and work on something. And let's bring up the next, because I mean, Charrington has acquired depth. It doesn't look like it's a lot of good depth, but I mean, let's figure it out.
It was like Tyler, I think Tyler on Twitter said today is like, Ben Cherington has acquired 17 billion middle infielders, and not a single one of them is better than some kid named Mark Matthias. And I'm sure Matthias is a nice guy. It's just the drop off from seeing the most exciting player we've had since Barry Bonds to Mark Matthias, and it's no fault of his own.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it was like the Josh Van Meter thing last year. We piled so much hate on that guy. He didn't do anything wrong. He couldn't play. We knew that when we got him. It made no sense that we got him. It wasn't his fault. We turned the venom on him, but that was a Ben Cherington. Every time he played, it was Ben Cherington, and the reason he was on the team was Ben Cherington. I mean, he seemed like a good guy. Hey, you need a catcher? Okay, I'll catch. You want me to pitch? Okay. I mean, right. And now we're going to kill Mark Matthias, and when we're done with him, we'll chew up Marcano, and right. It's like I said, he's made a lot of moves, and and none of them. He doesn't seem like he can judge middle infielders all that well. If you think Peguero, Gonzalez, based on Sternhagen,
Neil
Hoyt Park's, come and go.
Well, I think we've exhausted about how much we can really get from an 8-2 loss. So I think it might be time to get out of here. But
I have got nothing. I had nothing to start with, so right.
You did pretty good.
Tomorrow tomorrow's Mitch Keller Day, right? Tomorrow's Mitch Keller Day. So let's
since the Pirates
approach it like a professional baseball player.
And since the Pirates never win when I do these, I will hopefully, if you see me tomorrow, it means we have lost. So
no, let's not. It's too early. It's too early for that. We'll get you. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game. I'm looking forward to seeing Mitch Keller pitch.
Yeah, Mitch Keller's enjoying. Mitch Keller.
Hopefully, we can get right. Santana, Brian Reynolds, and McCutch can get something going, and we'll see if we can eke out a win.
And you know what, Mike? If I could get paid $700K to be terrible at my job, I would do it in a heartbeat. With that,
I'm terrible at my job for much, much less. So, and I mean, again, he did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. He stunk, but
I'm sure Josh Freeman.
It wasn't like he. Right. I mean, again, it wasn't like we got him from somewhere where he coming off a season of 330 with 30 home runs. He was DFA'd or where I think we made a trade or whatever. But he was terrible. He was terrible when we got him. We all said, why did they sign this guy? That doesn't make any sense. We've got 17 middle infielders. He didn't do anything wrong. I'm sure he tried hard. I'm sure he put his best effort out there. Right. If they're going to pay me, I'm going to collect a check. Come on, Bucko Mike, lighten up on him.
Well, with that, we will sign off. Someone will be here tomorrow, hopefully talking about a Pirates win. But
much easier to talk about a win.
Yeah. except yesterday's win.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Don't remind me. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Somebody will be back tomorrow, and again, hopefully, we'll be talking about 8 innings from Mitch Keller and a great Pirate victory.
Amen. All right. Have a good night, y'all.
Yep.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.